Welcome to Little Cottage in the Woods. Today I am going to bake a birthday cake for my 50th birthday. I turn 50 years old tomorrow. Today is February the 27th of 2026. So I'm getting a day ahead to prepare for my 50th birthday. So I'm going to put an apron on. As I've been cooking more and more with a wood stove here at my little cottage in the woods, I've been really appreciating aprons. It really helps to keep myself clean, and it gives me a quick spot to clean my hands off from flour. So I have everything set up here ready to go, and I pre-make cake mixes, and I pre-make like pancake mixes and biscuit mixes. So I've already have my cake mix, which is flour, 2.5 cups of flour, a cup of sugar, and a tablespoon, a good heaping spoonful ratio of baking powder. So, and that's what I use for my base, and a little sea salt as well. I'll add a little more sea salt, but I do sift the flour. Sifting flour makes it more fluffier in your recipes, and it gets out all the balls in your flour, any caked up little balls that sometimes appear. So I do this with my flours and my biscuit doughs as well. It just really helps. Sometimes using a spoon helps to push that through. Okay, and once then you get all your flour, and you can do this as you're going too. You can make this recipe without doing a pre-mix. I just do that because I bake a lot, so I just make a whole big batches at once, and that way I just have stuff ready to go. That simple part of living single in my own little cottage. So now that we've got that out of the way, I might add just a little touch more. This is pink Himalayan sea salt. A touch more, just to get those flavors popping. Now what we have here, set this aside. Oh, I'm gonna open the window to get some fresh air in. On February the 27th, we're looking at weather that is up in the upper 50s. So I want to get some fresh air flowing through my little cottage here. So what I have here is 1 cup of buttermilk, which I use powdered buttermilk and mix it with water. So that's another thing with living off grid, is getting powdered milk. It definitely works better than buying just fresh milk that could spoil quicker. So, and then I also have vanilla and oil and 3 eggs. So I'm going to go ahead and put in all my milk. Then put in my oil. And got 3 eggs. I'll crack those into a bowl first, just to make sure they're still good eggs. that one's good as well. So put it right in there. Third egg. Yes, that's good as well. So put that in there like that. Rinse my hands off. So now that we have that, we have our 1 cup of buttermilk, 3 eggs, a 1/4 cup of oil. I'm going to add in a little vanilla. I have a 1 teaspoon here. So add in some vanilla. And then let's just mix this well. Now this is going to bake in my Dutch oven on the wood stove. So that with baking in a cast iron on a wood stove and it's on top, it won't necessarily be as hot sometimes as a regular oven, and it is a little different than just popping things into an oven. Oh, this egg won't break. There we go. So there is techniques, and right now I have my cast iron on the wood stove with a good fire blazing in there, a good heat to it. When I use the thermometer, I have a digital thermometer. It's reading at about a little over 200. So it will take a little longer to do your baking as far as the timing goes, but it is possible, and it's amazing too. So now that I've got this all nice and mixed up, looking like that, I'm gonna bring over my cake pan, which this fits right into the Dutch oven. So I'm not going to pour the batter into the Dutch oven. What I do is put the cake batter into a cake pan and then put this cake pan into my Dutch oven, which I'll show you that as I do that. So, but this cake pan, I have pre-oiled it. Let's see, need to smear the oil around a little. Got a little bit of this parchment paper, which that's what I did. I lined this cake pan with parchment paper so the cake can easily come out without sticking, which is very helpful to do when cooking in a Dutch oven. I'll do that with my biscuits as well, and pretty much any of my breads. Which my breads, though, I don't use necessarily a cake pan or a bread pan. I sometimes will bake my breads directly in my Dutch oven. But I want a nice, like a birthday cake. So I'm going with the 6-inch round. So this will only hold half the batter that I've made. Let's go ahead and pour that in. About right there. So yeah, I'm going to be doing layers. So I'll set this aside, let this one layer bake at a time. So that's all I can fit in my Dutch oven. So that's all right. Even that out. So there we have it for the preparation of the cake mix. And now I'm going to take it over to the oven and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, so here we are with our cake mix in our 6-inch cake pan, and I'm going to put it down inside my Dutch oven. So get that down there. So inside the cast iron, I have one of these, like, this is cast iron as well. It's just I don't know, it's hot, so I don't want to touch it with my bare hands, but it's one of these lifters. I found this at an antique store, so I just put that down in there so that the bottom of the pan isn't directly on the cast iron itself. It has a layer of air. So I just put that down inside there. And then I always take a piece of parchment paper and lay it on top so that it catches any moisture when I put the lid on. That way the moisture isn't dropping down into the cake. And this is one that I've used over and over again for other baking things that I've done. I just put that on there. Make sure that parchment paper is not hitting the back of the stove. And I'll check it on occasions. Usually it takes normally about 30 minutes to bake a cake in an oven. I'll check it around 30 minutes and see if it needs a little more, and always use the technique of touching it to see if it's done. So we'll check back in and see how this is doing in about 30 minutes. Okay, so we're ready to take the cake out of the Dutch oven. It's been baking now for about an hour or so. Like I said, it takes a little longer to bake using a Dutch oven. So and then I'm going to take the cake over to the counter and put it on one of these cooling racks here. But I just lift it up out of there like that. As you can see, the cake is done and ready. So let's try to get a good view here. All right, so we have our layers for our cake. We made 2 layers. I just let these cool down after they had baked in the Dutch oven on the wood stove. So now I'm going to do a middle icing for I'm going to do this trick where you go around like this. Able to get my frosting made and the colors set in and chilled in the fridge for just a little while the cakes were baking. So there's that. Move this around a little just to level it out. And then I will take that top layer, place it on top of here. Like that. Set that in. Then what I'm going to do actually is go around and fill in this hole. And there we go. next will be to do the frosting and then the decorating. Okay, well, let's get our layers on here. Come in here with some coloring. So yeah, this icing is a little soft, so it's not like the best decorating. I'm gonna do just a little bit then. Some coloring. Yeah, this icing is way too soft for me to get it to do its thing, to do kind of real piping. So I'm just playing around and having fun, right? Oh gosh. Oh wow. I haven't decorated a cake like this for a while. So I need to practice mixing my frosting. That's all. So, hey, happy birthday to me, right? Just put some like little gold, I'll like cover it up with some golden balls. But yeah, this is definitely not a store-bought cake.